Something I want to show you here today is how fescue and other forages that grow as sod grasses, what they do for small birds and stuff is it's such a tight, narrow growing grass, and there is no runways. It's a sod, like your lawn would be a sod grass, and there's no runways, no pathways. And quail in particular, when they're born, they're as big as my thumbnail. So for him to try to get through this, it's just an impenetrable jungle of grass. And in the morning dew, whenever they take off to feed, they actually get wet from the grass, the dew, and the hypothermia sets in and kills a lot of your quail. Little turkeys, which are a little bigger, it's just an impenetrable mass, which makes it awful easy for coyotes and bobcats and hawks to catch them because they can't really run through it to get away, and there's nowhere to hide because they can see from overhead. This is a sod grass. We've moved down here from our fescue field to a diverse native grassland with forbs in it. It's, you know, a reclamation. And it could be for grazing, it could be for restoration, it could be for wildlife purposes. What I want to show you is you look at the runways that are through this native grass. So they grow upright and then they fountain over, and they've got all sorts of little trails and runways just like a maze in there. And your little quail and your little turkey, they run around in them runways. Your dew settles in and it stays up here on the blades of the grass, and the ground stays virtually dry under there, or at least they don't come in contact with it and get wet. And that's where they get their bugs, and they scratch around on that bare ground. And this is an ideal situation. There's not going to be a hawk spot them from the sky. There's not going to be a coyote slip up on them or a bobcat, and they can run around in here faster than the predators can. This particular field is for the purpose of grazing. Not that all wildlife fields need to be grazed, but what it does do across the road here, we grazed this 3 to 4 days ago. And you can see how we knocked down some grass, we've opened it up, and this will regenerate itself to start looking like that again. This will regenerate itself later than across the road where I was standing earlier, which hasn't been grazed. So that's really good quality stuff for insects right now. This will be really quality stuff in another week for insects. Also for pollinators, as those are done blooming. These have been set back. Some of them will bloom again. They may not bloom as vigorously, but they will start over blooming, spread out that blooming season for a longer portion of the year. This is what the Ozarks had for species at one time. This is what a lot of Missouri was. And this is what your deer, your turkey, your quail, this is what they thrived under before we changed the forage species here to suit cattle grazing purposes. And overgrazing caused a lot of the problems with wildlife. But these are ideal ecosystems. This is what they're adapted to. And that is why we feel like a diverse native, whether it's for grazing, whether it's just for wildlife, whether it's a wildflower meadow, for pollinators, whatever it is, there's something in here for all of it. It's really what they was made to eat. That's why we think this is the way to go for wildlife here in the Ozarks. This is Hamilton Native Outpost. We raise and sell native grass and wildflower seeds here. And if you've been interested in the video, please check out our website for more videos and see some of our products.